So my first foray into filmmaking was actually started with my activism. I was working for an organization, and I felt, we needed some way to communicate what was happening. And this was an organization that was trying to raise funds for a community center that the community really didn't want, because, they thought that, we shouldn't raise taxes, and what good is this? And it seemed like there needed to be a way to tell this story, and the high school I was at had just got some video equipment, so I was like, this is a great idea, we can do this. So it was really an effort to raise awareness about this very particular cause in this town where I was going to high school. And that was the first film, and then for quite a while my films were very much tied to organizations or movements, and I would call them straight propaganda. Now I feel they're getting slightly more nuanced, but still have a message, but not in the same way. So Herman's House is a film about Herman Wallace, who's been in solitary confinement in Louisiana for more than 40 years, and his friendship with an artist, Jackie Summel, who asked him about, after a year into their correspondence, what kind of house he would dream of. And then they went on to create this amazing art project, and the film really looks at their friendship and their art project, and just how prisons work, but through this lens of space and imagination. I think documentary actually as a form gives you more freedom than almost any other form, because you actually get to construct a truth in some ways, or a seemingly true story, but it's still constructed. And I think in that way, if we can tell an emotional, compelling, powerful story, and people see that it's true, that the possible impact is enormous. I like fiction film too, and I've done work in it, and it's important. But when you watch actors, they're actors. And at the end of the day, you're like, wow, that's an amazing film that was made. But when you watch a documentary, and you see an amazing documentary, you're like, wow, that's an amazing situation that exists. Now, that being said, we do construct that story, but having that potential impact is great, and invaluable, I think. Other than Herman's House, I'm working on actually right now a related project. It's called Inside Herman's House, and it's an interactive online web documentary produced by the National Film Board that will explore, in some ways, some of the same elements of the story, but actually have a lot of elements of the story that we couldn't put in the narrative film, and really allow the user to explore Herman's world in a deeper way. So right now I'm actually in production on that, and other than that, I do a lot of kind of still propaganda videos for different unions and other groups to get out their message in the larger media environment. Well, I think this is an important question, support for documentary in Canada, and I think support is kind of being reduced for documentary. It's not kind of being reduced, it's being reduced. And I'm not happy about that, because I feel obviously they play an important role, but I don't think we can look at that in isolation. There's an attack on working people and their salaries across the board. Whether you're a janitor, whether you're a garbage man, whether you're a nurse, your work is being devalued if you don't work on Wall Street. So I don't feel the need to complain about, woe is me, the documentary director, when, anybody who's trying to make a living in this country is under attack. from the financial sector and the government that serves them. So we don't, I think we, as people who work, if we can all stick together and push back, then that's the answer. But I don't think it's necessarily useful for me to just talk about the documentary industry, because that would just be unfair to all working people and indigenous people, like people all around who their resources and their livelihoods are being attacked. And so, we all need to kind of come together on that one. I think Cinema Politica is an amazing organization. I mean, I think what Cinema Politica is doing is why we make films. I mean, there's no, yes, we make films to be broadcast and we make films to go to festivals, but really we make films for people to engage with them. And I haven't been with a more engaged audience with this film ever before. So Cinema Politica is creating an audience that by its nature is engaged and is changing not only their the world, but also the relationship between films and an audience. So, I mean, I think we need Cinema Politica to keep doing what it's doing, because that's what keeps us going. Because there's the reason you make a documentary. You're not making a lot of money. You're not. It's like, sure, maybe some people want awards and stuff, but really it's to impact people. And it's only cinema. People have to be prepared. People have to understand what they're taking in to fully be impacted. And I think Cinema Politica is doing that with its audiences. It's preparing them and helping them understand how they can relate to documentaries beyond just watching them, which is just step one of a process.